we have a very great guest on our show. His name is Dr. Nicholas Dodman. I mean, come on, guys. I'm going to say you are a top dog. You are arguably one of the most renowned veterinarians on the planet. Years ago, you and I got to work together with a publication called Catnip through Tufts University. I was the editor. You were the veterinary behavior advisor. And I just knew from the first day I met you, this guy's talented and he's also a little fun.
Woof.
Yeah, woof, woof. So I can't believe 2024 is almost here. Mm-hmm. I'm not really a big make a new year resolution. I just try to be a good person and recognize that my life has been enriched by the dogs and the cats in my life. But we got you here. So as we approach 2024, a little crystal balling, little tips. Let's go to the cats first. I mean, I saw a cartoon with a bunch of wrapped presents and the cats are around the tree and the cats are saying, well, can't wait till they get the contents out of this toy because, cats like boxes. Mm-hmm. So what would be some things that could improve our connection with cats if we were to make a resolution? Because sometimes we misunderstand them.
Well, I think you have to, first of all, there's different strokes for different cats.
Yeah.
Some of them are sort of naturally friendly, sociable, good-tempered, don't tend to have outbursts and such like. And others are a little bit more edgy. And that's just
like members of our family, right?
That's exactly right. And the people, it's the same way. We know that some people are very long-suffering and others have a very short fuse. So cats are very similar to us in terms of personality and, depending on the personality. But I think one thing that's really important is to cut cats some slack, not too many rules. An example would be like a man and a woman came in to see me and the complaint was that the cat didn't like her husband. It ran away from him, wasn't friendly, didn't let him pet him. And, the woman had all the fun with the cat and this cat was scared of the guy. So how can we solve this problem? So I just asked a few questions. It turns out this man was completely obsessive about cats jumping up on counters where there might be food. And when the cat jumped up on the counter, which they do because they like high places, my cat would wander around anywhere. He had no rules. He'd jump on the bed. He'd sleep on the bed. He'd go on the counters, much to my mother-in-law's horror. But this guy, he would run at the cat like a raging bull, shouting and wave his arms around and sweep the cat off the counters. And he wonders why the cat didn't like him. I said, you've got to ease up, fella. You just got to chill a bit because, people worry about germs. Those feet have been in the litter box and now they're on the counter. Well, unless the cat has some disease, there's no illness. I mean, if a cat's got a urinary tract infection or some serious bacterial diarrhea, that's another matter. But for the most part, it's not going to hurt you at all. It hasn't hurt me in years and years of owning cats and allowing them that freedom. So I think cats need to be cut some slack. You need to understand their foibles, what they like, what they don't like, and try and basically inside every cat, they all want to be happy and to be pleased. And you just got to realize what is the way to that cat's heart. And oftentimes it can be through food, but sometimes it's through petting. And you need to play games with them. You need to keep them active. You can't
So what would be a nice game for an indoor cat that you could start 2024 off on the right paw? I have 4 cats, 4 different personalities. And yes, they do walk on the countertop and the kitchen island. But you know what? It's fine with me. And they love their cat trees. But what would be a good game you could encourage people to consider?
Well, I know my cat loved the chasing the light.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I didn't even have to have a flashlight. This is not such a good idea with a dog that could be convinced to become a light and shadow chaser. I've never seen a cat convert into a compulsive light and shadow chaser. I mean, they're all a bit compulsive. They see, the Tinkerbell reflection of your watch on the wall and they start jumping at it, running around the floor. And, I think that's an environmental enrichment. I used to use my watch and the sunshine to create little Tinkerbells on the wall, and they run around, disappear under furniture, and cat be running here and there. If you want to be more energetic, you could tie something like a leather bow on a string and run around the house, and they're chasing this funny little thing. Or if you're a little less energetic, you can actually have toys that are remote that will run around, that they can chase, that you can operate, and even toys that are autonomous, like they go to a toy mouse, and when they get near it, it moves. They like movement. They even like television, and especially if the television has movement on it, like NASCAR racing or something like that, things that go round and round, or ball games even. My cat would hang on the top of the television and hang down over it. So things that move, plus food, plus petting, plus
And
give them some slack.
sometimes on CBS Sunday morning, they do a little nature clip at the end. And I'm not kidding. Whenever they do a close up of a big bird, like a giant robin appears on my big screen, my cats jump up and they look at it because the high definition, and this robin is bigger than they are.
Yeah, that's true. And there are little video games. If you were very well heeled and you wanted to push the boat out, you can buy a little iPad that you can lie on the floor with cat games. And it could be, for example, birds, or it could be little fish swimming around in what looks like a pool. And they'll sit there and look at it, absolutely transfixed on these fish swimming around on the floor, which are simply images on an iPad.
That's crazy. We already got Techno Kitty, right?
Yeah, sure. Like the kids, right?
So we've talked about playtime. We've talked about giving cats a little respect. What would be a third resolution you would like to bring out the best in cats in 2024?
Well, you just mentioned part of it. You said you have a cat condo.
Yes.
And cats need to go up. My friend Jackson Galaxy, in one of his shows, there was a cat that was causing problem for a woman. She had a massage business, and the cat would keep jumping on the massage counter, which she didn't mind, except it wasn't very good in the middle of the session. So how was he going to fix that? And very smart, because he knows a lot about cats. He put up a ramp that went up to like a picture rail around the top. The cat could go up the ramp, go around there. It's even higher than the massage table. And the cat was happy as a sand boy.
Yeah.
Or a sand cat. He'd climb up there, and he never bothered the woman again. A three-dimensional environment is what cats need. They're three-dimensional creatures, like some of their wild cousins, like tigers that climb trees. Not so much the lions that tend to stay on the floor. But they're more like tigers. It's really like having a tiger in your living room.
Yeah.
So whether it's a fake tree, a cat condo, some structure that allows the cat to climb, this is an environmental enrichment which causes a happy cat and a grateful cat. And with all the other things and the food treats and the petting and the no rules, they can have a sweet life indoors.
There's been a lot that's happened with cats. I've seen there's groups out there, adventure cats, cats in backpacks, cats on paddle boards. There's even a commercial with a cat jumping in a lake. Are we just still puzzled and amazed by cats? We still haven't really figured them out as much as we should.
I think a lot of people don't properly understand cats. They are smarter than you think. And there's an old misinformation that you can't train a cat. Well, you absolutely can. And using the Karen Pro clicker training method, I trained one of my former cats, Cinder, a black cat, of course, to sit on command and to sit like a prairie dog on command with one word, and it just took a little while. There was no coercion on my part. Actually, I used a technique called capture, that I waited until the behavior happened. And then I threw in the click and the word. And eventually the cat put two and two together. My resident, following my example, took a stick. You can use a marker stick for this clicker too. And she would, with using the stick, she trained the cat to jump up on the command up and to jump down on the command down. And it is said, and I think I've never done an experiment on this, but it is said that a cat that's trained, I think Karen Pryor would definitely agree, that a cat that's trained to do something has new appreciation for you, the trainer, new respect. And it kind of goes both ways. The cat now realizes that you're interacting with it. There's a communication between the two of you. And it actually opens the eyes of the people too, that the cat can look at you. There was one amazing story about a graduate student of Karen Pryor's that was trained to, with a clicker, to run across up the back of a chair and to press a light switch and turn the light on, on the command, touch it.
Good.
And when going to bed, she would say, touch it. And the cat run across the floor, turn the light out. Of course, there would be a click, right? Which becomes a reward and maybe a food treat afterwards. Maybe.
Well,
not.
I would say my BFF, my best feline friend, is pet safety cat Casey. He sits, he touches paw, he spins, he walks on a leash, he comes when he's called, he jumps up. But I think you're right. He looks me in the eye, and it's almost like we've connected. We've connected. So he has a full life teaching pet first aid, but he is my BFF. Dr. Nick.
I think that's true of a lot of, cats and dogs, is they need some sort of gainful employment and understanding and communication. Mm-hmm. I think every animal kind of needs a job. They had a job in nature, and, when the food falls out of the sky in the form of sort of packeted food or tinned food, and there's nothing to do and no chasing and no climbing, that's a miserable life.
Thanks so much for making our tails wag by watching this guest interview from Arden Moore's Four-Legged Life.